So this is a rarity.
What is?
3 weeks in a row.
No way.
Yeah. I don't remember the last time we did 3 weeks in a row because we do 2 weeks and then we kind of go, we don't need to do it this week, and then we take off 2 months. That's not happening again.
Story of my life.
Yeah. It's also our 23rd episode. Our Michael Jordan episode.
Hi. Into club. High off perks with some J's on. No, wait. Shades on.
Something about tatted up Billie jeans and some glaze
with
on.
my J's on. J's on my feet. J's on my feet. J's on my feet. So get like me.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Do you remember when that music video hit the internet and everyone freaked out?
No.
That was the first time Miley Cyrus started acting weird.
I remember the VMA award she did.
Everyone was
something,
that's
yeah.
what she was like.
Yeah. She exists.
Yeah. That was her breaking out of her Disney show.
It was. But we don't really have anything to talk about this week, so we're kind of just throwing it off the wall.
Shooting
like
the shit.
the Michael Jackson album. So, Cam?
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, let's see what's happened in the past week. Stranger Things. We could talk about that. I feel like we didn't really touch that much on Liam Payne last week.
I prefer not to talk about that.
Could always talk about Liam Payne.
That's old news at this point.
We could talk about Miss Marvel.
I want to talk about the Star Wars fandom.
Okay, let's start with that.
I've been hesitant to make a video about it addressing my issues with the fandom because I don't think I could properly fit it in a minute or even 3-minute TikTok video.
You
I think
can upload 5-minute TikToks now. Did you know that?
Oh, wow. That's kind of crazy. I don't know why anyone would want to do that. But I'm just going to kind of go off here. And before we get into anything else, by the way, thank you guys if you're listening. If you're returning or if you're new, it means a lot. Hit the like button on the video version. Comment down below, some thoughts on some of the talking points on the video version. Subscribe. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Leave us a nice review, all that stuff. But now that all that's out of the way, here's my rant on Star Wars. So, if you guys know me, you know that I love Star Wars. I have since I was a kid. It's one of my favorite things in the world. The certain aspects of it are. Excuse me. But the thing about it is, right now, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yes.
And we're 4 episodes in, 5 as of this going up, because we're recording this the day before episode 5.
Going up.
And the thing about it is, Cam.
What's the thing about it, Chris?
I don't love the show. Now, why don't I love the show? Now, I say I don't love the show, so automatically I hate the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't love the show because, for various reasons. Number one, it's not doing a great job of utilizing the time on screen. I think it's 6 episodes, and the last episode was 32 minutes. They're supposed to tell a compelling story that kind of fills in the gaps between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and it's about Obi-Wan Kenobi. So what the show should have been at its core, in my opinion, is, Obi-Wan, he's isolated, something draws him out, in this case it's Leia, and I think that should have been resolved in episode 1 or 2, and then after he has his duel with Vader in episode 3, this show should literally just be Vader hunting him down and basically trying to torture him mentally and put him through hell, just like Obi-Wan essentially left Vader in hell. And we're not getting enough of a Vader-Obi-Wan dynamic in the show. Now, I'm not saying every episode needs to be them fighting. That's not what I want. I want more back and forth between them, even if that's through the Force, even if that's a Kylo and Rey situation from the sequels, or if it's anything like when Luke is reaching out to him through the Force in Empire at the end. Anything like that would have been cool. And it's fine. I think it's got really cool moments. But all that's to say, here's the thing. If you go out online right now and you post any, critique or, expectation, or I wish, maybe we saw this in the show, or I wish it went down this way, I'm not loving this, there is an entire sect of the Star Wars fandom that will be like, you know what? You just need to be grateful that we're getting Star Wars content. And whenever I hear that, it turns me away more than anything. And that is the core of toxicity in the Star Wars fandom. Because essentially what you're saying is, you just need to be grateful we're getting this show that's just average.
Yeah.
You just need to be grateful that this exists. I've never heard any other fandom, I'm going to compare to the MCU because they're the 2 big ones owned by Disney. I've never heard an MCU fan be like, oh my gosh, just be grateful we're getting our 5th TV show of the year. As if we aren't getting Star Wars content left and right. The thing is, with more shows and more content coming out from Star Wars or Marvel or anything, mediocrity is inevitable because if you have, the higher the more you're putting out, not everything's going to be as much of a banger. It's almost like a quantity over quality type thing. And with Obi-Wan Kenobi, the show, you bring back Ewan McGregor, you bring back Hayden Christensen, utilize them. And I feel like they haven't done that to the best of their ability through 2/3 of the show. It's a bummer. And I've expressed why I feel that way. But the whole toxicity within the fandom is like, you're not allowed to express critiques of it without people calling you toxic. And that is the downfall of the Star Wars fandom. It's people almost accepting everything ignorantly without critiquing it and just being like, oh, we love it all. Like the Book of Boba Fett, I think, was an aggressively, it was bad. Like the structure of that show was terrible. It was a snoozer. And midway through, they were kind of like, all right, Mando season 2.5. Right now, I just don't understand why so many people out there are like, will blindly defend Star Wars. And that's the issue with it, is the blind defense of it and being so defensive. No other fandom gets this defensive over the fucking IPs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, calm down. I don't like it. I'm allowed to have that opinion. But but it's more toxic for someone to be like, you can't say that, blah, blah, blah. It just gets annoying. What are your thoughts?
I agree. I definitely think there's a difference between there's a difference between the kinds of fans that are like kind of like Luke, where he's just like self-aware that like I'm gonna love whatever Star Wars puts in front of me, and like I'm okay with that, and he doesn't tell people that they need to do that. And then there's the people that are like, you just need to be grateful that we're getting anything in general. There's a total difference. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's what authority does someone have to tell other people that they should be grateful for something that is made to be critiqued and personally experienced differently by everyone? That's the whole point of movies and TV shows. We all have different thoughts and opinions on them and talk about them. It drives me insane.
I agree. On topic of like Darth Vader and stuff, I remember I said this to you and Soups while like before the show was coming out this whole time. I was like, I don't know if I'm just stupid or like if I just don't get it, because like I've never been the biggest fan of the prequels, so it like doesn't hit the same for me. But like I didn't really understand everyone getting so excited over Hayden Christensen coming back. And I guess because like I never really expected Clone Wars flashbacks, so that was probably a big part of it. I was just like confused. I was like, why is everyone freaking out over him being back? Because it's just going to be him in the Vader suit. Like, you're not going to be able to physically see him. They could be lying to you and saying that's Hayden Christensen, but it's not at all the entire time. And you would never know because he's in the Vader suit and it's not his voice. And you can't tell that that's him or his body. So I never really understood why people were like, oh my God, Hayden Christensen's coming back. And I think that my statement rings true, because they haven't really used Vader all that much. I think hopefully we'll get a lot more of him in these next 2 episodes. But like you made this good point last week when we were talking about it, and you were like, people are like, this show isn't what it was marketed to be. I disagree. Vader was barely in the marketing for the show. Hayden Christensen was in the press for the show because it's Hayden Christensen. But in terms of the marketing for the show, all the spots, all the trailers we got, I think everyone was like, oh, they're saving Vader for the show by not showing us him in the trailers. But instead they were just accurately marketing the show to us, where it's like lots of Obi-Wan and lots of Reva instead of lots of Vader.
Which is an issue in my opinion.
I think it's weird. It's a weird way to go. It's I think the story that they're trying to tell in Obi-Wan is like a good and fun and decent story, but they're not telling it right. It's like the story's good, but the show writers didn't do a good job. It's like really weird. It's like a weird thing that I can't put my finger on.
It's to me, and again, I'm just going to be open. I don't care if you guys disagree with what I'm about to say. I genuinely don't at all. I'm basically only talking about Star Wars on the podcast at this point. But like I've seen articles and interviews that the writers of the show, like, here's the thing. Someone made a point once, a big Star Wars creator, I won't name them. If you're creating Star Wars content, I think you should have to have an understanding of it somewhat. Okay. And if you don't, you should do a little bit of homework. Oh, because I don't think that the writers of this show, the writers, one of them didn't really understand Revenge of the Sith all that much.
Really?
And it's kind of frustrating. It really is. And you can kind of see that in the show, in my opinion. It's almost like when you just read the Spark Notes, right? You should have a knowledge of this. Like, that's why I admire the hell out of Filoni. Filoni's a massive Star Wars fan. Massive. And you can see that. Favreau, another huge Star Wars fan. You can see that. So I don't understand why you're bringing on people to like write these shows without as much knowledge as they should have, because it just doesn't flow as smoothly, in my opinion. And also, going back to what you said about the structure of the show, your fucking poster is Obi-Wan Kenobi with Darth Vader. That's your poster.
That's fair.
So, like, this should be the main villain of the show. He shows up in episode 4 at the very end for 2 seconds. I'm sorry, the scene feels weird to me. It's like, it's this abrupt jump cut, and he's just running down a hallway, and he's like, whoa, and he, like, screams and starts force choking her.
Yeah.
Some people have thrown around the term, like, fan film with certain aspects. I didn't see it until then. That's the only thing that felt fanny to me.
That's fair.
It was like a shaky cam of Vader walking down a hall, and then he like force choked Reva up in the air, and it's like,
oh, you know,
that felt a little weird to me. And why is Reva is such a huge role? Everyone's like, we don't know her role yet, and we're excited to see. It's like the show cold opened with a fucking a group of Jedi Padawan.
Yeah.
She's one of them. It's pretty obvious.
One thing that's been bothering me though is I've seen people like complain about how Obi-Wan snuck Leia out underneath his trench coat, and they're like, this looks so stupid. Like on Twitter, a lot of people are like, this looks so dumb. This is the stupidest thing Star Wars ever done. Like, this show is a joke, blah, 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 blah. And that critique bothers me because it's like everything that the Empire's ever done is stupid. Everything that Star Wars has ever done is to show us that stormtroopers are dumb. And so is the rest of the Empire. The only smart person in the Empire is Darth Vader. And like maybe a couple other people. But Darth Vader is definitely the smartest, which is why if he's not the one handling all this shit, it's all going wrong.
Absolutely. Like the Empire, they're just henchmen. They're just the stereotypical, like the trope of stormtroopers is they are these dumb. They're basically just.
That's like the whole point as to why they can get like Jedi mind tricked so easily is because they're literally stupid. It's like, no shit, they're not going to notice a little child underneath a trench coat. They're idiots, and also they probably can't see very well.
That's true, and I don't see anyone complaining about like battle droids. They're dumber than dirt in the prequels. Like, it's just you have to have some object in your way. It's like, I mean, villainous soldiers in any form, even like Game of Thrones, like the people on the wall, some of them are stupid. The evil ones, you know? Yeah. Like it's you could do any franchise. There's idiotic, villainous soldiers that are just there to be killed.
And like, what's another complaint? Oh, people.
The water thing.
Yeah, people complaining about him coming out of the water and he's all dry, and
which
it's
is
like
a nod to A New Hope.
Have you seen the theory where it's like every episode of Kenobi mirrors an episode of the movies?
Yes.
I think that's pretty cool.
It's a good ass theory.
I think it's pretty cool.
And there are legitimate like comparisons. I've seen like two main ones for each episode.
Episode 4 like fully like resembles
Episode 1
A New Hope.
Yeah, and in episode 1 like the one I saw was like there's a decoy, just like how Padme has a decoy. Like Leia has a decoy when she's running.
Really?
So the decoy, and then
you're so right.
The third one's obvious. It's Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones, I don't remember what the parallel was, but there was at least 2 I saw.
And then, but in
episode 4 had a lot though.
He gets out of the water and he's like dry. People were like, "Oh, it doesn't make sense." I'm like, we're watching a show based in a universe that was thousands of years ago and a shit ton of like galaxies away. And you're complaining that someone getting out of water dry is unrealistic. That's what you're complaining about? They use the Force, my guy. They have lightsabers, dude.
No, yeah. I don't like the phrasing of that though. When you said like that's like it's a universe where this happens. Like I think that's like a cheap thing. I've just heard people because I've heard people be like, "Well, you guys didn't complain in the MCU when there's a big purple alien walking around with these stones." It's like, well, no shit. I think that it's stupid that people complain about the thing too, the water thing, because in A New Hope they get out of the trash compactor, but like. And they're dry, but why would you like? Do you guys want to see a scene of Obi-Wan like drying off with a towel? Like,
no, yeah,
what do you
exactly.
want? You know? But it's just like I don't know. Let's break that down. Actually, like when people are like, I just don't like. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure out what it is. But when people say like, well, this isn't it's for children. It's in the galaxy far, far away. Anything's possible. It's like, yeah, but like we know that, and it's set within the world. So like now that we know that, it's like it's obvious. So we're in this world, so let's just critique it as if this is the world we're in. That's kind of like, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I feel about it.
It does make sense.
The thing that just always irked me is, I forget what it was. There was a movie that came out, and a lot of people were saying like, it might have been like the Snyder Cut or a DC movie, and people were like, but you're compelled by a big purple alien, and I'm like, why are we comparing this to like, is it oversimplifying? Like you're dumbing it down almost.
I guess.
Anyway, we'll move on because you clearly. I'm sorry, I'm stupid, guys.
No, okay. Whoa, you're not stupid. I get what you're saying.
It's just like you just look dumbfounded about it, or just
no.
like,
I get what you're saying. I'm just not as passionate about that as you. Like I can excuse watching episode 4 and not thinking twice about Obi-Wan coming out of the water.
No,
and
I don't
seeing
care.
Him
It doesn't
dry.
bother me at all. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm literally was making 2 points at once. I was trying to kind of start another conversation.
No, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
I know what point you're making. You don't like people being like, oh, you're upset about this when we're in a world where like lightsabers and the Force exist. Like,
I'm just gonna make an example. Like, yeah, it's the equivalent of getting mad about some unrealistic plot in like a spy movie, right? About like some disease or something, because that's in the real world, quote unquote. And then people are like, you get mad about this, but you love this Star Wars thing that's with aliens, or this Marvel thing with aliens. It's like, why are you trying to compare the two things? Is what I'm trying to say.
okay,
It's an unrelated conversation that you just made me think of it by something you said.
Oh, gotcha.
Sorry.
No, yeah, people like to shit on Marvel and like compare and be like, oh, but you're compelled by this, or you're moved by this, but not this.
Yeah.
That also,
and the Star Wars fandom is just like, I don't even know. It's like,
a headache.
See, talking about it is making me sick.
I can tell
We're
it's
moving
making
on
you
from
ill.
it, actually.
Yes,
because I fucking hate it. I really do.
I don't talk about Star Wars much like on the internet. Like I'll post like a fun like Star Wars edit, or I'll post like a lightsaber TikTok or a Star Wars cosplay. But outside of that, like I don't talk about Star Wars on the internet because the fandom's just so irritating to deal with. Like I refuse.
Like I love the original trilogy and the prequels, and like I love the Clone Wars and everything else. But like truthfully, if I could only keep like the 6 films, like I would like that. It's just so simple. Like honestly,
Top 3 worst fandoms: Star Wars, Breaking Bad, Marvel.
I think the craziest thing is like the Marvel fandom is way better than Star Wars. Like
Definitely way better. Way better.
Because
depends on what side you end up on,
like,
but way better.
Because
for sure.
even with a movie like Multiverse, which was super divisive, like I feel like people weren't calling the Marvel fandom like toxic. It was more like like people were more willing to hear you out on your opinions, because I've disagreed with you on Marvel movies and I've disagreed with other people.
Yeah.
And there's more civil conversations. With Star Wars, it just feels so personal to everyone for some weird reason.
They get so mad, and it's just like, dude, just
but
chill.
Like, I hate this saying, and I want to talk about this, and then we'll move on from Star Wars. And I know you've tweeted it, I think, and I think a lot of people say it. It's
what
like,
did I do?
No one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
That's true, though.
But it's like, I think that's kind of dumbing it down again, because I'm a big Star Wars fan, and like I hate certain aspects of it, but like if you love something, you can nitpick it. And like having that viewpoint of like no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans, it's like
that saying applies more to like the fans that went and purposely gave Obi-Wan Kenobi horrible scores on the public score for Rotten Tomatoes because they made videos talking about people being racist to the chick that plays Reva.
Those people aren't Star Wars fans, though.
I know, but like that's what people mean when they say that. They're not like attacking people
but
like
that
you.
Saying is like, that saying is old, and if you guys agree, let me know. But like, no one hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans. It's like, well, everyone is kind of, I don't know how to put it, but like, isn't everyone that watches a piece of media like somewhat a Star Wars fan if they're giving it their peace of mind? So like,
that's true.
Why would you hate Star Wars if you weren't a Star Wars fan? That's kind of my.
There's some people in the world that are like that.
It's like,
though.
oh, I'm not like.
There's people that hate Marvel when they haven't watched it.
Like
I
have been called on multiple times, like this guy hates everything Marvel. Like I love Marvel, but like I will openly shit on things I don't like.
That's fair.
It's like, yeah, I'm a Marvel fan, but I hate certain aspects of it.
That is fair. You know what I don't hate at all?
What?
Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I will say though, some people. This is like the first season of Stranger Things that's like gone on whilst the internet is the way that it is, like with everyone being like on TikTok and on Twitter and on Instagram. And so like I think it's mostly people that are 12, 13, 14 currently being annoying about it, but like there are some, like I know some of Jenna's TikToks have gotten on like the wrong side of like the Stranger Things fandom, and like they blow up because people in her comments are like being rude as hell. And it's just like, shh. If you were in middle school or elementary school when season 1 came out, shh. Just shh for a second. You know what I mean?
Ageist.
I'm just saying. You were
literally.
You were
you literally are
a wee little lad when the show came out. Just.
Yeah, I guess.
And they're like attacking Jenna because like her outfits aren't accurate enough, and it's like, okay, let's
That is
tone it down
annoying,
a little bit, you know what I mean? Or like attacking me because I put Pass the Duchy at like 11 when I'm ranking the songs, and it's like, sorry. I don't know what you want from me. I don't think that that's like the best song ever made. Sorry.
Yeah. Like it's just a personal ranking, but
yeah,
I think that
but I do think I like Stranger Things fandom overall.
I do too. I think that with Stranger Things, it's been a lot of fun to talk about it for me. I've never had more fun talking about Stranger Things because I've never had another outlet to pour all of my like talk into. Like since I've been on TikTok, I would say what?
All my problems in the world would be solved if my TikTok and YouTube got film stock views. That's funny. I agree.
Yeah, I guess.
I wish my TikTok did your numbers. He's so humble. Continue your statement.
I hate when we'll talk about it later.
I'll brag about Chris.
I just don't know. It's like, what do you? I don't even see. I don't even know how to talk. Like,
just
what do you want me to do?
Continuing your settings.
Anyway, sorry. Stranger Things on the internet is fun for me because I have never had the outlet before. In 2019, there was no TikTok.
Yeah,
there was no. I wasn't even. Actually, you know what? I do have a Stranger Things 3 review on my YouTube channel. So check that out. It's like one of my first 5 videos.
No way.
With Andy, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't invited to this one.
You were not.
This was before this, but that was in like that little gray area where like you would refuse to let me be in any YouTube videos. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you like refused to be in any TikToks. Like I had to force you.
Yeah, character development, crazy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, COVID kind of solved a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
imagine if you'd gotten TikTok when I did.
Who knows? I think everything happens for a reason, so maybe it was a good thing I wasn't on there then. But
who knows? Sorry.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna add anybody, so please don't.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say this.
I won't even show my face.
You can show your face.
Okay. I don't trust my face though.
It's been extremely fun for me to post about Stranger Things on TikTok
Uh-huh.
and on YouTube, and I honestly am overwhelmed by the amount of positive growth and response people have had to the content.
Uh-huh.
I like to think I know something about the show. I don't think I'm not as smart as you now.
No,
You're
that's
the
true.
Stranger Things expert in my book.
That is true, but I wouldn't let you post if you
I think I'm
didn't
a
know.
fan of the show.
You are.
I have been since it came out. I'm not
You have.
gatekeeping. I'm just saying
We
like,
both have, and that was separate because we weren't dating when the first season came out,
right.
which is crazy.
The thing is, though, I think you can tell when
someone's not a fan.
There's trends.
Yes.
Like Stranger Things is trending right now. I post a lot about it because it's fun for me.
Yes.
Does it do well? It does do well.
Yes.
But I also have a lot of fun as well. Like Marvel's not. I love Marvel. It's not like I want to make 10 videos about Thor: Love and Thunder right now.
There's a difference
because I'm honestly
between-
burnt out on doing those for Marvel right now.
There's a difference.
It feels fresh right now to me.
There's a difference between posting something that you love that's trending and posting something because it's trending.
Yeah.
And you love when things are trending.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? There's
Yeah.
a total difference in that.
So for me right now, there's a ton of Stranger Things hype online, and I think a lot of people who create content about it are genuinely fans of the show.
Yeah,
I know we are.
Like me and Jenna, like mostly Jenna, me kind of, but like specifically Jenna. Like Jenna's been making Stranger Things content like roughly for the past 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, and like I've made like Stranger Things edits here and there. But there's definitely a difference. I agree. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it feels almost like it's not at all going to ruin Stranger Things for me because that's not possible. But it's just irritating where Marvel was always a regurgitating, like everyone's saying the same thing every time we got anything. It's like Stranger Things is becoming that in a way, but it's like I feel like more people have watched Marvel for longer where it makes more sense. And I feel like with Stranger Things, it's almost like, is it hopping on the bandwagon in a way?
Yes. It's like, this is kind of a different, this is a different point than what you were just making, but it's kind of like if somebody tried to talk to me about Bucky and like tried to tell me like all these things about Bucky and like him as a character and like break him down, and I just had to sit there and like listen to them, and I'm like, in my head I'm like, you're wrong, you're stating the obvious, you're I don't know about that.
Like if someone was like,
you don't
posting
understand
a video,
him,
they were like, I'm gonna do a history on Bucky, and they were
it's
like,
like you don't understand
in Captain
him the way I
America,
do.
the first Avenger, he fell off a train.
It's like you're sitting there and you're listening to them talk, and it's like honestly a lot of the stuff they're saying is correct, but in your head you're like, you don't know Bucky the way that I know Bucky. Like you're missing things here and there. You're missing little details here and there. You're missing, like, you're going to tell me about Bucky's life before war, but you're going to forget that he had a sister named Rebecca. You know what I mean? It's like you're missing these little things, and it's because you don't really know the character like I do. It's kind of like, that's how I feel with, like, a couple of, like, videos like I see on my For You page. I'm like, you don't really know Stranger Things all that well. Next video. And that's just how life is. I'm sure people, if I posted about Star Wars, people would say that about me because I don't fucking know every planet. I don't know every character. I don't know every species. What's the species that's like a fish, man?
Gungan? Are
Whatever.
you talking about like Jar Jar?
No.
Moncala? Like from Moncala?
Like the game? The dude that's always on the white ship.
Admiral Akbar.
Thank you. See, exactly. Like I know what I'm looking
There's
for.
There's Quarrens and then Mon Calamarians, and he's a Mon Cal. See, I know Star Wars fuckers.
And see, I don't. Like I know I can picture the Fishman in my head, but I don't fucking know his name, so I call him Fishman, which is why I don't talk about Star Wars on the internet.
Yeah.
I've seen the movies. Like I know what I'm looking for. I just don't bother to memorize the words, and that's how I feel seeing a lot of people talk about Stranger Things. I'm like. You know what I mean? It's like I think everybody has a little bit of a gatekeeping tendency inside themselves. It's like human nature to at first see something and want to gatekeep, and then you like don't because like you're like, no, it's fine. But it's fine. You know?
Yeah. If you want to get really down and dirty with this whole thing, I have a topic of discussion that might get controversial.
Between us?
Not between us.
Oh.
So the raging debate right now is binge versus weekly. And I have a genuine take. You tweeted about it more than me, but I fully believe this.
I got my thoughts on this.
I think if you really only believe that a hype for something will be around on a week-to-week basis, it might just be because that's all you care about is the hype.
Exactly. Spill, Chris. Literally spill. I think that if you think that something can't hold conversation for more than a week, if you think that Stranger Things releasing all on one day means that no one's going to talk about it a week or 2 weeks later, then I don't think your brain can stimulate conversation very well. And I'm sorry if that's mean. It's just the truth. Like, I've been talking about Stranger Things for the past 3 years. Not necessarily on the internet, but to my friends, to Jenna, to Adia, to you. I have been talking about Stranger Things for the past 3 years, waiting for season 4. And I will continue to talk about it for the next 2 years, 3 years, however long it takes them to record and produce season 5. And I'll probably talk about it until I have children, and then I make them watch season 1 at the ripe young age of 3. Just kidding. Whenever they're old enough to watch it. Like, I talk about Stranger Things relatively regularly, even in the off season. And if you don't, because if you can't talk about something because it's not being talked about on the internet by a vast majority of people, then A, you probably don't care about the thing you're watching, like you just said, and B, you're just your brain can't really stimulate conversation for that long, and odds are you're just used to saying things that you've already seen posted on like Twitter or TikTok or whatever, and you regurgitate it into your own conversations and into your own content. And that's my spill for that. I don't care if it's mean. I don't care. I've tweeted about it nonstop. I'm sick of people being like, it should have been released weekly. No. The weekly releases only work for like Marvel and Star Wars shows, and I'm going to put air quotes around only work because I think it barely works to release one episode a week, but they work for the Marvel and Star Wars shows because they're only 6 episodes. If I had to wait, well, I guess, you know, it's 7 episodes, but like, let's say they do all 9 for season 4. If I had to wait 9 weeks to watch the finale of the show, I'm not going to lose interest because I love Stranger Things, but if it was any other show, like, I wouldn't care. I'd lose interest. I lose interest in the 6 episode Marvel and Star Wars shows because I'm like, like, I don't care about Kenobi that's coming up, even though it's the fucking penultimate episode and I should care about it. I just don't really care because it's been just drawn out at this point. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And to kind of touch on it, I really believe that Netflix has always done binge, and that's preferred in my opinion because it's just the kind of show that you need to sit down and watch all at once. And there's certain shows like that. Like, I genuinely think that like Kenobi should have been that way. Now, from a marketing standpoint, I understand you want to get the subscriptions into another month, so that when it's about the money, I get it. But from a story perspective, like, it feels stretched like paper thin with Kenobi. Like, it feels like they are stretching this piece of gum until it almost breaks.
I agree.
and I know people who, I think the weekly thing might have hurt it sometimes, because I know a few people who have, like, I won't tell you who, like, they didn't finish Moon Knight and, like, we're losing interest in Loki, and it's like, I've heard multiple people, like, lost interest in Moon Knight. So
no, exactly.
Like, if you drop it all at once, people are more likely to be like, oh, screw it, I'll finish it out. It's 2 more hours, I can watch it back to back.
Exactly.
Weekly, it's like, you forget about it, because, like, even, this is a random ass example. We watched the iCarly reboot.
Oh, we gave up on that shit.
We watched like 2 or 3 episodes. They dropped them at once, like 3.
Uh-huh.
So we watched them, and then like it was weekly, and then we were like,
we forgot about it.
Forgot, and now it's like got a season 2.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. I thought I saw like Josh Peck is on it.
Yeah, he is. But that's just one example. Like,
yeah, no, it's a very good
for
example.
us, it's just you got to have interest. Like The Boys, there's a hybrid now. There's a hybrid where they drop 3 at once, and then you have like 4 weeks. That's much better than just. Like,
and I like what Stranger Things has done this time around. Even though this break wasn't intentional, I'm pretty sure the only reason that they're putting 8 and 9 out later is because they really had CGI they had to finish up, and they wanted to put out season 4.
That makes sense because they dropped 7 and then 2. Like, it's if they were gonna do like a genuine split, it would have been like 10 episodes, and they would have done 5 and 5.
They probably would have cut it off if they were trying to purposely do a cut. They would have cut it like maybe 6 or something. You know what I mean? But like. That's why that there's a split. It's because they had stuff they had to finish up on episodes 8 and 9, but it worked. Like, because now we get the binge model of 7-hour-long episodes, and we also get to wait a month for like these 2 finale episodes. And I think that's a great little segment. You know what I mean? And that still spans out like subscriptions or whatever. It still spans out the conversation, but we also got 7 hours of content to make more content off of. If you're looking at this from a content perspective, which is a whole other point I want to make, people that are complaining about it and being like it should be released weekly, I'm sorry, but you only want it to be released weekly for content reasons. Nobody in their right mind would want to watch a show week by week, 1 episode a week, if they just were watching it to watch it. Like, I remember hating having to wait an episode for Game of Thrones. I mean, a week for a new episode of Game of Thrones. I hated it because I was tortured. I wasn't making content about Game of Thrones when season 8 was coming out.
I hated having to wait, but at the same time, it did make Sunday nights better. And so
fair.
like that's my thing is like if you're gonna do it weekly,
that
why drop it at 3 in the fucking morning
on
a Wednesday?
That too.
Like make it an event if you're gonna do it weekly. Drop it on a Sunday night, like
exactly,
where it's a nice time for everybody
when everyone can watch it. 9 o'clock,
like universally.
Pacific,
like I'm fine
Eastern.
with like universally drop it early in the UK for them at night. I don't like just
it's
stay
also,
off social media and
Game
drop it at a convenient
also,
time for everybody.
Game of Thrones was on like television, so it's a little bit of a different comparison.
Yeah,
but like
now it's like streaming. Like
if you're watching Stranger Things to watch the show because you love the show, you're not gonna want to stop watching it for a whole week. You're not going to want to wait a week between episode 6 and episode 7 when you see Steve getting eaten by demobats because you want to know what happens to Steve, one of your favorite characters. If you want to wait a week for that, 1, you're weird. 2, you're only watching the show for content. You just are. And I'm sorry, it's the truth. There's no other reason to want something to be released
The
weekly.
only other thing would be that I would accept is like you want to have something to look forward to every week, which I get.
Watch it again.
I get it, but like, yeah, you can just rewatch the episode. Like that's what I did with Game of Thrones. I watched the episode twice a week.
I just finished my 4th rewatch of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And I'll probably start one new one tomorrow.
Yeah. So like, I think that the binge model is just the new name of the game because for multiple reasons. I mean, 1, I think it's the superior way of storytelling because I was watching Barry, one of my favorite shows, and like I was watching it weekly, and they're only 30-minute episodes, and I love the show, but like it has cliffhanger endings, and I was like, I'm just gonna like be really patient, and I watched the first 2 when they came out, and then I watched the 3rd one, and I was like, I'm waiting until it's all done, and I binged all of it yesterday, and it was like the superior way because like there were some massive cliffhangers in there. One of them in particular, like I would have hated waiting a week. So like,
really,
yeah, I'm really glad that I just binged it all, and I think I'm gonna do that with like shows I don't care, like a Barry or like I don't know what another show would even be, but like we already saw the first 2 of Miss Marvel because of the screener link.
Where's House of Dragons being released? Is it on
HBO Max?
Oh, okay.
So
it's
it'll
not
be like
a on.
The good thing about that is because HBO is still a channel that exists, it will drop on Sunday nights.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, that's really
which is
that's
what
good.
Barry does, and that's what I was trying to say. Like, why don't they just do that?
I'm really excited for House of Dragons.
I think
Off
because
topic, by the way.
I believe that's what they're doing, but then there's shows like Barry, which I'm pretty sure drops. No, Actually, that drops at 10. So, you know what the one was Peacemaker dropped in the middle of the night because I think that was an exclusive to HBO Max show.
Yeah.
I don't think that was on the channel.
Yeah.
But I that's what I think is they should adapt more is dropping it at like 9 at night for, make it
the
make
3
an event
a.m.
where everyone can watch it.
The 3 a.m. shit just
because I can't. I'm being honest with you. If I'm gonna stick to this. I'm sticking to this. I'm not doing a watch party for Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 5. I'm gonna do one for the finale, and it will be my last watch party.
Fair.
I'm doing it because I think it's a send off to Obi-Wan. As much as I have issues with the show, it's like the last time we probably will ever see Ewan. I want to experience that with everyone, but I can't do watch parties anymore. It's physically draining.
It's really
it
painful.
fucks up my entire next day from like a content creation perspective, and like I love watching it when everyone watches it, but it is the most inconvenient hour of the day. Seriously, if it was 4 a.m., I would be willing to just wake up because that's more acceptable. But like for 3, I wake up at like 2 in the morning, so I have to go to sleep so early. It just fucks everything up, and I'm not doing it anymore. It's not good for my health, mentally or physically, and I've realized that it was like a fun time. We had a good run.
We're also like old. Sorry.
Well, we had a good run. I mean, we had WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, some of Loki. I did it for What If, which was like dedication.
I can't believe you did that.
I stayed up too. I didn't go to sleep.
I think people that are like long-standing supporters of your YouTube channel saw when I checked out of watch parties.
Yeah, probably
after Loki, I was like, I'm good.
Mid Loki, we kind of were like losing interest in them, but like the only ones we consistently did for every episode was Falcon.
Had to do Falcon Winter Soldier, dude.
Hawkeye every episode.
WandaVision.
Technically,
we did WandaVision every episode.
The first one I scrapped though. Remember, we were having technical issues, and so I was like, all right, we're just gonna watch the episodes off the air.
Right.
So on my channel, the only shows I missed one episode of What If because rest in peace Sadie. And
why would you say that on the podcast? What is wrong with you? I'm gonna start crying.
Oh my god!
She died during What If?
Pull yourself together.
Which episode did she die during?
I think it was like episode 8 or 7. It was the Vegas episode, the worst one, the Thor one. I said I'm just not gonna do the watch party tonight.
So Sadie helped you dodge a bullet.
She did. Shout out Sadie.
That was a tragic day, dude. It was. I didn't even know you had a watch party planned for that day. I had no idea.
Yeah, I did. I was gonna do it. I was still gonna do it.
I don't even think you told me you canceled it. Like you just like didn't even.
Yeah, I set an alarm. I was like, I'm gonna wake up and do it by myself in this room. You were sleeping in that room, and I was like, fuck no. I was like, I'm not doing this. And thank God I didn't, because that episode was the worst of the show.
I was sleeping in the same room as my cat's dead body.
Yeah. Can we move on from it now?
Go ahead, please.
Jesus Christ, you love to just dwell on it, don't you? I brought it up real quick.
Please
we can move on.
Move on, please. I'm begging.
I am. I did the watch parties for Boba Fett, and I was like, hell no, I'm checking out of here. Sorry, guys, I don't like that one. I did a few for Bad Batch, and that was fun, but like the most fun, and I'm just being real here, the most fun was the first 2 Marvel shows. It was WandaVision, It was Falcon and Winter Soldier. That was prime, like Marvel Disney Plus era, because it was new, it was fresh. People were still kind of cooped up from the. Were you shushing me?
I said fresh.
Oh, all I heard was
sorry.
Shh. I was like,
so sorry.
I'll shut up then.
So sorry. Continue.
Anyway, it was fresh because it was like we didn't know what to expect, and now we see the template, and it's like, and it's Disney Plus. If it was like
also just the Falcon Winter Soldier was just the best Marvel show.
And also, and this is like true. I'm being real with you guys.
No.
Sometimes when you're constantly creating content about these shows and making, your reviews and talking about them 24/7, it's nice to just have that moment of watching it to yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Does that make sense?
That is so true.
I hope you guys can understand that. Like it's just nice to just watch it and be and like, it's just you and me.
Like imagine doing a watch party for Stranger Things.
I will never.
No,
I never will, just because like
that's sacred.
It's a show that's sacred. It's too special. Yeah, I won't even film my reaction to it. Like that's how like. I know you guys probably want to see. I have people have requested like reaction for Stranger Things. I won't even do it for that.
I'm gonna maybe low key do a reaction like I did for Outer Banks.
That's fine.
Especially when I can sense if someone's gonna die. Like if, first of all, everyone please stay on the lookout because I will be recording my reaction to Eddie's guitar solo, regardless of death or not. And that reaction will be dramatic on purpose, and it will be posted on TikTok. And it might be one of the best moments of my life. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I want to make a point real quick.
Go ahead.
I don't know if this is a valid claim or not. I've posted, even recently, I did the impromptu reaction to Obi-Wan Episode 3.
That was a good video.
Here's the thing, and I'm not at all trying to take away from reaction channels because I respect that grind, the editing process and everything, But to a point, and this is just me, after having created content for 3 years on YouTube now, and just being on TikTok and everything, if you are solely watching a show for the content, like if you're just watching a show to post your reaction video, it's like, I feel like that just, it ruins it.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have, like, that's why I will never do it for Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I won't do it for House of the Dragon. I won't do it for a lot of things because it's like, it's taking away the experience of something that I'm get excited for. Like, I want to have this joyful moment and just have it kind of be more intimate, just offline, and then I can share my thoughts after. Intimate. You have to understand, though.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, my reaction to Outer Banks was just a fun time because first of all, you can tell that video is so insanely laid back because it's vertical. It's not a horizontal video. It's literally vertical.
It is vertical.
Same thing with my first reaction to the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like the very first thing we ever got from it. It's also a vertical reaction because I was just recording it to have that, and then I was like, oh, I guess I can post this on YouTube. Honestly, we vibe heavy with the vertical videos, don't we?
Yeah, it's fun.
They kind of fuck. You know what I mean?
They honestly do.
But like, you know, I agree. When you're watching it just to make content, it's kind of like, that just sounds like a drag, and that's draining, and I just can't. I could
Granted,
not.
I would have watched everything I've watched partied on my own. I mean, but like, I'm saying, if I was like, you know, like I was gonna watch Cobra Kai, and I was like, I'm gonna make reaction videos. I was like,
you would have hated Cobra Kai if you made reaction videos.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, it would have taken away from my actual thoughts and experience on the show, and I don't want to do that. I will watch Cobra Kai one day.
I do think it's gonna be a good show. That guy from.
It's already been out for 5 seasons.
I'm sorry that like I meant it's going to be like when you watch it, like it's gonna be a good show for you. That's what I meant. The guy that's in He's All That, isn't it?
Yeah, he is.
King.
I think maybe it's coming back for season 5 soon. I don't know. I'll watch it one day. But
my parents like Cobra Kai.
I think Max Talks Movies likes it. I think Aiden as well. Shout out anyone who likes it. But that's why it's nice to have
all the homies.
That's why it's nice. Like, I'm loving The Boys right now because I haven't made a single piece of content about it, and it is the most refreshing thing ever.
Honestly, same. I have a Starlight cosplay.
Yeah, I mean, I picked up The Boys in 2020, and I think I showed it to you.
Yeah.
That's one of the few shows I showed to you.
Yeah.
And then they have the tracks for it, and we were like, double whammy. That's even better.
So, I think the tracks came out after you showed it to me because I watched it. I didn't watch the tracks until season 2.
You watched season 1 with the tracks, I think. Because, they had season 1 tracks. So I watched the show on my own so I could catch up to season 2, and I watched it weekly, and then I rewatched it with you, but they had tracks.
Do you think we just had a conversation about tracks. Do you think anybody understands what we say when we say that? Because like to us, PMI tracks are such a big part of our lives. Like, I know we've explained this multiple times. Pretty much it. Their YouTube channel. They also are like a Patreon. They do commentary tracks. The guy, his name's Eric. He does it with like different people, mostly with his friend Miles. But like he does commentary tracks for like a lot of things, a lot of shows. Like he does tracks for like some of his funniest tracks are like 13 Reasons Why. He has every season of Stranger Things. Like, and he's like the funniest fucker I've ever.
Yeah.
He has tracks for Harry Potter.
Twilight.
That's like
Saw. That's why I watched Saw.
Yes, they're the reason I watched Saw. Like Eric is like the funniest person that I've ever like heard in my entire life. So I watch everything with Pretty Much It. And so when he's around, I'm always watching something with Pretty Much It. So when we just say the tracks, like we know what we're saying. Yeah. But do you guys know what we're saying? I don't think you do, because I doubt if any of you know about Pretty Much It, please comment down below and let me know, like if you watch them or anything. But like, I think like because with the conversation we just had, like I sort of just watched it from an out of body experience for a second, and I was like, we probably sound insane to people. Probably. Where we're just like, because we didn't even mention PMI at first. You were like, oh no, you watched season 1 with the tracks first, and because we just know what that means, but they don't. But yeah, did I watch it with the tracks the first time around?
Yeah.
Really? I guess that makes sense, especially if it was 20.
With Jacob.
If it was 2021 ish or whatever.
2020.
Fall of
2020.
Then I definitely was. Less.
You've been subscribed to them for way longer than you think on Patreon. Like you've been there since COVID. Legitimately.
I found out about Pretty Much It from the video they did with Curtis Connor, because on Curtis Connor's video they watched a movie about a guy with a big nose, and then they were like on Pretty Much It's channel. Right? on Pretty Much #Roxy.
#Roxy.
On Pretty Much It's channel we watched After, and I was like, oh shit. Oh shit! I have to watch after because I was like, they're really funny. They seem really funny, and I subscribe to the Curtis Connor, Danny Gonzalez type of humor. And when I think I watched their after video, and I was like, this is really funny. And then I lived off of their YouTube videos for a while, like just their YouTube videos. And then I was like, I gotta get the full experience. And I think I was gonna buy, I don't know which track I was gonna buy. I can't remember, but
Harry
I was
Potter,
gonna
probably Twilight.
Probably Twilight. I think I was gonna just
watch that Twilight video a shit ton in like
yeah
January of 2020.
because you can like they have a website where you can buy like a specific commentary track if it so pleases you, but they're also like you can subscribe to our Patreon and you get every track and you get new tracks like every week. And I was like, that just sounds like a better deal, so I'm just gonna do that. And then I was subscribed at the $10 tier for a while, which is just where you can like hear them. And then I subscribed to the $15 tier, which is the Watch Us Watch tier. So you can like, I have a dual monitor setup, so I have the show on one screen and them on the other screen because they're like really funny and I like to see their reactions too. And like, they're just a hoot and a half. I love them. My life would be so different without pretty much it. Like they're my favorite people like on the internet, in the world. If I ever met Eric, I'd be like,
yeah.
My goal in life is to become famous enough so that I can go on a pretty much it track. I would like to commentate Pitch Perfect with them, High School Musical. What are some other ones I've mentioned? Footloose 2011.
Yeah. That movie's
would-
having a resurgence right now.
I would kill to commentate Footloose 2011 with Eric and Miles. That'd be my dream.
You know that movie's having a resurgence right now?
I know. That movie has a resurgence for me once a week. I watch it once a week.
I've seen it a lot because of you. I had seen it before you, actually.
Yeah.
In
really?
2012 in 6th grade. But
Nice.
it's good. I mean, it's a good movie. Miles Teller's on... But I was talking about this with Trevor and obviously you, but like Miles Teller has been a thing. Like, and I don't know why people are just now getting
He hasn't been in
a
movie in a while, I don't think.
He hasn't, but he had a damn good run, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, he was in the Divergent series, Whiplash, Footloose 2011, Spectacular Now, this movie called That Awkward Moment, which I need to watch. I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
We should watch that one soon. It's been recommended by Trevor. But he's in a shit ton of stuff. And then the death of his career for a bit was Fantastic. He was Reed Richards. And
yeah.
He took a hiatus, and now he's back.
Yeah.
He's in a movie this week with Chris Hemsworth. Same director as Top Gun Maverick.
Is it that creepy
Spiderhead or some shit?
Yeah. We watched that trailer.
So he's having a
I
little
love
resurgence.
Miles Teller. I love Footloose. I'm gonna clip this and post it on my TikTok, and I want everyone to blow it up. I don't even think Eric has a TikTok. Maybe I should post it on Twitter instead.
Yeah.
I just want Eric to see this, and I want him to know that I'm working towards being famous enough to be invited onto a commentary track. I just want him to know that.
Dope.
It's gonna happen. It will happen, and it'll be one of the best tracks ever. I wouldn't be able to listen to it because I can't listen to my own voice. But yeah.
Eric watched our Saw ranking.
That is so true. We did
You're
a
not
ranking.
Jigsaw, bitch.
Yes, he commented on our Saw ranking. He went, "You're not Jigsaw, bitch."
What a time.
What a time to be
What a man.
I've interacted with the man plenty of times in his Discord server and on Twitter. He's retweeted a lot of my stuff because I am very funny. So we're basically besties.
That's funny as hell. But yeah.
I'll let him park his van in my driveway.
Yeah. In the southeast. That's funny. Oh man.
Out of context, that's a very weird statement to make.
Yeah. I don't know what else to talk about, but we can keep going if you want to. I genuinely am tapped out right now. Like not mentally, but like I just don't know what else to talk about.
We can make it a short episode for the week.
That's fine.
Yeah, we talked about some couple good topics.
Yeah.
I went on a rant about how much I love Pretty Much It.
I went off on the Star Wars fandom.
That's true. And then just basically, long story short, Stranger Things is like one of the best franchises in the world. And it's very upsetting that we know that there's a finite number of seasons. But over Geeked Weekend, the Duffer Bros did say many a times that they love this world that they've created and they don't want it to end. So I'm seeing spin-off shows.
Spin-offs. Like with spin-offs with like at least one or two of the main characters.
Steve and Robin go on their own little adventure together.
Yeah.
Eddie finally graduates and goes somewhere else.
And I don't want it to be 11, but that's probably what it's. No,
They can't. No, they can't. They won't be with Noah Schnapp because Noah Schnapp's going to college.
A Brenner origin story. No,
absolutely not.
No.
Not for me. Oh, that's just reminded me.
If it's the main kids, it's not a spinoff. It's a sequel. It has to be like side characters, like Murray and like or some like Enzo, like someone that obscure, like Eddie could do it maybe, or Steve.
I'm down.
Even though Steve's a main, but like you can't have the main kids be in it. That's
I'm
not
down for an Eddie spinoff. Duffer Brothers.
Or
if you need to cast a love interest for an Eddie spinoff, I am here. I have 0 acting experience, but I have much experience in loving the character of Eddie. So
shit, they could just do like a little time jump and make it in a different part of the United States with like, it's not the Upside Down, but it's like a similar show to Stranger Things.
Oh my gosh, I want an exact replica of the entire show Stranger Things, but they're all Russian children.
Why?
Because that's where the other gate is.
Oh yeah.
I think that'd be funny.
Maybe not in today's climate. They wouldn't do that, but
Oh.
but any other time of the
Make
of
them
the
British.
world, maybe.
Make them British, and you still cast Millie Bobby
Yeah.
Brown as 11,
Yeah, that'd be
and she
funny.
just does it in her normal accent.
Oh man, but yeah,
Oh, funny.
I'm sure we'll get a spinoff. Pray to God it's not involving 8.
I don't even know who that is. I refuse.
Yeah,
Blocked from my memory.
Kari, isn't that her name? Kari. Callie.
I literally couldn't tell you.
It's
She's
one of
8
those
to
two.
me.
One of those two is her name, but that's pretty much all we have to say.
That's pretty much it.
Thank you guys for listening. If you have any, suggestions for future content,
Straighten
let
out
us
your
know.
bottom finger. There you go.
There we go.
Love you guys.
Subscribe.
You know who would subscribe to the Stay Unusual thought process? Dustin.
He would. Hat looks good on you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
I don't have my hair tucked. There you go. All right. I think that's the podcast for the day.
Yep.
Love
Good
you
one.
guys.
See you next week. Follow us on Instagram for more updates.
And as always, stay unusual.